Deep in the human psyche is a place that yearns for sacred spaces. You know, even in the caveman, cavewoman time, archaeologists found ledges where they'd made little gatherings of bare bones as a way of honoring the bear spirit. When people put photographs on a piano, in no small way, this is remnants of that ancestral altar. We create altars even when we're not consciously aware of it, and there's power in doing so, because every altar, it doesn't need to be religious. An altar is a way of honoring that which is sacred, that which is hallowed. And when we as mystic chefs create table settings, we hold the idea that every table setting is like a mini altar. So you're going to learn some different ways that you can use table settings to create sacred space. For example, this is a chakra altar. The chakras are energy centers in your body. The first chakra is the energy center that dwells at the base of your spine. We correlate the color red with this chakra because it's a very deep, kind of resonant kind of energy there, similar to the color red. The colors are electromagnetic fields, and red's a slower, deeper wave. It's an electromagnetic wave. So the red chakra, the first chakra, it's very grounding. It's your physical strength. It's your courage. It's your passion. So we've created a table altar that brings forth that energy. If you need to be grounded, if you need some physical strength, if maybe you want to get out there and do it and yet at the same time be grounded, create a red first chakra table setting. So we have the red color here, so to bring that vitality, that energy, that passion. But also, we've used things that feel dynamic. And you can be really creative in table settings. This is a black napkin I used to make the placemat. These are used for candle holders to gather the wax. And you can put flowers on your table settings. So this, when you look at it, you feel this kind of passion and this kind of intensity of life force. And that's going to be activated in your meal simply by this table setting. Not only can the foods you eat activate different qualities in your life, but the table settings, what I call the altar of the table, can actually emphasize those qualities. So let's say you want a little bit more excitement and adventure in your life. You might want to create a table setting that feels kind of exciting. So here I've used a variety of colors to give that feeling of adventure and enthusiasm and vitality. And I've used different colors in the flower settings. So when you sit down, simply sitting down at this table setting, subconsciously you begin to absorb that energy of adventure, vitality, and variety in your life. You can use your table settings to activate so many different qualities within yourself. For example, let's say you have some struggles with abundance. You can create meals in which you've infused the energy of abundance into them, and then you can also create table settings that will magnify that abundant feeling. So in other words, you'll be eating abundance. It'll be infusing into your cells. So here I've created a table setting that to me feels abundant. Now, everyone has different associations. So for me, I look at this and I feel elegant and prosperous. So this would really work for me. But you have to find what works for you, what feels abundant to you, and then create table settings that give you that feeling. And watch as abundance begins to flow into your life. Another way that you can use your table settings is for the elements, air, water, fire, and earth. Each element activates a quadrant of our being. So this is a table setting I set to activate the energy of water. Water traditionally is associated with emotions and flow, and maybe you're in a stagnant place in your life and you want to get some more flow, or you want your emotions to flow freely. Then you might create a water table setting. So I use plates, and you can see with the design it almost looks like water flowing, and also the color blue. And I use things in the flower arrangement so it feels kind of free flowing. So when you sit at this table setting, you do it with the intention that you are free flowing in your life, and so it will be. Table settings can also be used for a number of other purposes. For example, you can invite an ancestor or a beloved who's gone into spirit to dinner. You can also invite those same wonderful feelings. Let's say you lived with a grandmother for a few years and you always felt so loved and cherished and nurtured when you were with her. And maybe you have some of her old dishes. You can use those dishes, set the place setting in a way that you know that she would have loved. And simply eating on those dishes that she gifted to you, simply maybe using some of her things in that setting, begins to not only invite her to join you, but also invites all those feelings of being cherished and being loved. And here's something else really fun you can do if you have guests, or you can do it for yourself as well. If you look here, underneath this plate, I've put a card. These are from my soul coaching cards. And every card has a different message on it. So when someone sits down, they lift up their plate and there's a message for them. Or you can actually just put it underneath the plate. So the whole time that person's eating, the energy, that card was miracles, but it can be a card of love or joy or peace, that energy is infusing up through the plate. Another way you can use table settings is to open yourself to higher vibrations, higher frequencies. This table setting is set to create a very fine, rarefied energy, and you can see it's in white and golds. And I've even put a crystal in the middle of the plate, and you can do that. Before you do that, however, though, make sure your crystal's cleansed. You can cleanse it in cold water, or you can put it out in the sunlight. I really like putting my crystals out in the moonlight and letting the dew kind of cleanse them during the night. And once it's cleansed, then dedicate it. And how do you do that? You can just hold it up to your heart and say, I dedicate you for my highest good, or I dedicate you to connecting me with that angelic realm, or whatever you want. And then when you take that dedicated crystal, and if you have people for dinner, dedicate all the crystals, put it in the center of the plate, and let those table settings sit for a while so that energy can infuse the entire place setting. Alternatively, you can do it with a candle. And you can take a candle, and the important thing is right when you light it, hold the intent. I dedicate you to opening that inner light within me, or opening that inner light within whoever sits here. And so you put that candle there and you let it be, you light it and let it stay lit for a little bit before everyone comes to sit down. And again, that energy infuses the entire table settings. Incidentally, it does not need to take a lot of money to have great table settings. Be creative. Use old Christmas ribbons for napkin holders. You can use platters that you can find at discount stores. You don't need to spend a lot of money to make wonderful table settings. Many blessings to you.